In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Brougham Pavilion in Seattle, Washington. I'm Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast, as tonight the Seattle Pacific University Falcons hosting the Wolves out of Western Oregon University in Monmouth, Oregon. As they come in with a record of 11-5, they are 3-4 in the GNAC. They won their first 7 matches of the year. And Seattle Pacific going the other direction, as they won the GNAC last year, but really have struggled so far this year, as they are at a 2-13 overall record, 2-5 in the GNAC. So really just one game behind the Wolves in the GNAC standings, but both of these teams kind of in the bottom half as we stand right now, with everybody having either played 7 or 8 matches to this point. SPU, as I mentioned, 2-5 in the GNAC. That does include a 5-set win at Western Washington on October 10th. So a week ago tonight, they were down 2-0. They were down to almost getting swept in that match, and then they made a miracle comeback in the third set. Ended up winning it in 5. But Jason Ryan's team has a lot of work to do here they're gonna have to win out here just to get back to a 500 record for the season. That would put them at 13-5 in the GNAC. You never know, but not likely that the Jason Ryan's going to be repeating as the GNAC Coach of the Year in 2024. However, Kaio Nahalea on the other side for Western Oregon. He's got his team off to a good start, 11-5 as I mentioned, 3-4 in the GNAC, and the teams meeting at the net, shaking hands. We'll get you the starting lineups coming up here in just a moment. As I noticed with Western Oregon, they actually have 2 players in white jerseys, Taylor Lamb and Sydney Friesen, and of course they can't use 2 liberos at the same time, but both of them have played a lot of sets, and so we'll see how Kaio Nahalea chooses to deploy those 2 players. It'll be Taylor Lamb, the libero, to begin here, and Christina Lopez, the libero for the Falcons, as Falcons have Abigail Cunningham, Emily Tolino, Allison Wilkes, Aaron Smith, Eva La Rochelle, and Hannah Hare on the floor, and now Hare goes to the bench. Hannah Hare won her 9th GNAC Player of the Week award this year, 7th on defense. She's the GNAC Defensive Player of the Week. And actually, I said that Taylor Lamb was going to be the libero, and I was wrong. It's Sydney Friesen who will start as the libero for the Wolves, and she will serve. So Nahalea, I'm kind of moving some pieces on the chessboard, and that's going to be an ace to start things off for Sydney Friesen. Friesen, a freshman out of Salem, Oregon, and Nahalea's got a few good freshmen on his roster here. And Friesen will serve it up again. Wolves going with the sleeveless look, and that's going to be another ace. Friesen with back-to-back aces to start the match, and not what SPU is looking for. SPU 0-2 on their home floor. 15 matches on the year. They've only played twice at home, but they've lost both to the Alaska schools. And Friesen this time puts it into the net, and the Falcons will take a point on that one. Friesen averaging 0.38 aces per set. And the Wolves with a few players that have put up several aces this year. This one blocked by Hannah Hare up front, and the Falcons take the point, and we're tied at 2. Hannah Hare, I mentioned the GNAC Defensive Player of the Week, as Allison Wilkes will serve it. I did not give you the rest of the Western Oregon lineup. This is Aaron Smith tapping it over. And now Wilkes gets to it. Cross court set, and Aaron Smith blocks it out of bounds. It'll be Western Oregon's point. As Taylor Lamb coming out. And yeah, I'm a little confused with the 2 white jerseys, but only one on the floor at a time here. As serving is Samantha Darby. And now it's Bailey Hartsook spiking it down the line out of bounds. And it's 3-3 as, yeah, Taylor Lamb rotates back in for Sydney Friesen. And that's not something that I'm used to seeing. Not that I've been doing volleyball forever, but this one falls on the Western Oregon side, and the Falcons take the lead at 4-3. But typically, you're going to go with one libero at least for an entire set. Darby with the cross-court set, and it's sent over by Madison Hornback for the to tie this one up at 4-piece. So Western Oregon has tied it. Hornback will serve now. She's a senior out of Oregon City, Oregon. Cunningham on the floor, and there is Hannah Hare with a spike in the kill, as Darby couldn't handle it. Wolves with Mela Hanma, Taylor Lamb, and Madison Hornback on the back line right now. Up front is Samantha Darby, Chloe Ashudo, and Bailey Hartsook. And here is La Rochelle tapping it over for the Falcons. Sent back by Hanma. And that's going to be a point for the Wolves, as Tolino tried to get to it, but looked like came up short of the net there. So it's 5-5. And Chloe Ashudo to serve for the Wolves. Here's Hare again. This one going to end up on the floor on the Western Oregon side. And the Falcons lead at 6-5. Hannah Hare with another kill. And Christina Lopez will serve. Lopez with the all-black jersey. The rest of the team wearing all white, or well, white tops anyway. Lopez will set it up for Sydney Perry. And now Darby and Perry with the block on Hartsook. And Perry lands it inbounds for the successful block. And the Falcons with a 7-5 lead. Lopez to serve again. Here's Darby setting it up for Hartsook. And there is Zoe Schuckert for the Falcons. Here's Perry tapping it over again. And now Hartsook hit the antenna. And the Falcons out to a 3-point lead now at 8-5. Hartsook unable to get that one around the antenna. As Lopez comes up with the ace, as Lamb has that one go off her hands out of bounds. And Christina Lopez, the sophomore out of Surprise, Arizona, with a surprise ace there. And it's 9-5. Lopez will serve it up again. Darby sets it up for Hanma. And a good dig to keep it alive. And Perry spikes it back over. And the Falcons on a good run here, now leading 10-5 as a timeout called by Kyle Nahalea, as his squad is down by 5 here in the first set, 10-5. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. 10-5 Falcons with the lead here in the first set, as got off to a good start for Western Oregon. Back-to-back aces by Sidney Friesen to start off the match. But the Falcons have found their footing here, and they've scored the last 5. Darby with the cross-court set for Hanma, and La Rochelle there for the dig. Here's Perry sending it over. Darby there. And now Hanma sends it over. Here's Perry. And Shudo, or Hornback rather, sending it back over. There's Lopez with the one hand to keep it alive. Wilkes with the spike. And the Wolves keep it alive. And this time it's Mela Hanma sending it over for the kill. And the Wolves outlast the Falcons on that point. As coming in for the Wolves now, Kaylani Rosa will serve. And coming in up front is Lauren Johnson, another freshman for Western Oregon. Lopez with a good diving dig. Here's Wilkes tapping it over. Hornback gets to it. And a battle at the net. Falcons keep it alive on their side. Tolino sends it over with 2 hands. Here's Johnson tapping it. Lopez got a hand on it. Here's La Rochelle sending it back. And now sent over by Finley Booman. Rosa taps it over. Here's Perry. She spikes it over and lands it in bounds for the kill. And the Falcons lead at 11-6. Aaron Smith will check back in for Zoe Shuckert. Perry had a good look at that one and spiked it right down the line. 11-6. SPU with the lead. Here's Emily Tolino to serve. Rosa will set it up for Hanma, and Tolino's there. Smith taps it over. And now it's Hanma blocked, and it stays in bounds. And the Falcons take another point. They lead it now by 6, 12-6. Here in set number 1. Tolino will serve it again. And there's Johnson blocked. She'll get another crack at it. Lopez gets to it. Wilkes with the spike in the kill, as unable to come up with that one cleanly were the Wolves. And Allison Wilkes with the kill. And it's 13-6. Falcons looking good here in set number 1 to this point. Coming off a win last week at Western Washington, but then a loss at Simon Fraser. And the Falcons, another block here. And Falcons pulling away from the Wolves here in the first set. It is 14-6. Still a ways to go. But you gotta like being having an 8-point lead here at the midway point of the first set. Rosa sets it up. Wilkes with another block on Booman. And it is 15-6 SPU. And Nahalea takes his second time out of the first set already at 15-6 SPU, up by 9. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brougham in Seattle. Greg Sexton with you on the SP webcast. Falcons playing with an edge here that we did not see in the 2 matches against Alaska, the Alaska schools, I should say, Fairbanks and Anchorage. And Falcons with a lot going right for them here in this one. This one tapped out of bounds, and it's a 10-point lead for SPU at 16-6 with Emily Tolino on serve. And the Falcons are having an easy time of it here in the first set. Of course, we go back to 0-0 for the second set. And this one not over yet either. Another block up front. Wilkes was there. And I think Smith was there as well. And the Falcons with an 11-point lead here in the first set. 17-6. This is kind of more what you might expect out of the defending GNAC champions than what we've seen a lot of so far this year. Here's Hanma with the spike in the kill for the Wolves to get them back within 10. And Mela Hanma will serve. Freshman out of Hilo, Hawaii. Mentioned a lot of good freshmen for Kaio Nahalea's team. Hanma, certainly one of them, has played. And Aaron Smith with the spike in the kill gets it past Sydney Friesen, who couldn't come up with it. And yeah, Nahalea really has used both of his liberos quite a bit here, which is just something that I haven't seen a lot of doing volleyball. But there is Finley Bowman with the spike in the kill. Bowman out of Phoenix, Arizona. And that'll make it 18-8. As it'll be Sydney Friesen to serve. Another freshman out of Salem, Oregon. And she started off the set with 2 aces. Wolves able to keep it alive. And Friesen will volley it back over. Here's Tolino setting it up for Aaron Smith, and she sends it over. Ashudo tried to get a hand on it and couldn't do it. Or she may have just gotten a hand on it, but was not able to block it. It is 19-8 Falcons with the lead here in the first set. Allison Wilkes to serve. Rosa sets it up for Johnson. And now Hare sends it back. Here's Johnson tapping it over. Wilkes is there. Tolino. And it's going to hit the antenna. And that is going to be a point for the Wolves. It is 19-9. Falcons with a good lead, though, as it was tied at 5. And the Falcons really went on a run from there. Here's La Rochelle. She's blocked. And the Falcons keep it alive. And Smith sends it out of bounds. Or was it deflected? It is. It was deflected by the Wolves out of bounds. And so the Falcons with the point. And it's 20-9. Here's Aaron Smith to serve. Darby with the cross-court set for Hartsook. And Hartsook lands it on the SPU side for the kill. And it's 20-10. And it'll be Madison Hornback to serve. Hornback named preseason All-GNAC as Hannah Hare gets a good swing on that one and sends it over for the kill. And it is 21-10. Eva La Rochelle will serve. Freshman for the Falcons from Monument, Colorado. She has seen some time as an outside hitter. Falcons have really missed Sarah Brockvogel this year. And a good block there by Hare. But the Wolves able to keep it alive. Here's Perry. Darby keeps it alive, and now Hanma will volley it over. Tolino sets it up for Hare. She taps it over. Wolves keep it alive. Darby cross court for Hanma. Hits the net on the way over. And we're still going. And this is going to be a kill for Sydney Perry as the Wolves unable to keep it alive on their side. And it's 22-10. Falcons with the lead. Jason Ryan's got to like the effort by his team here in the first set. And La Rochelle lands it in bounds for the ace. They let it go. And La Rochelle with the ace for SPU. That is just her 5th service ace of the season. This one lands in as it's sent back the other way by the Wolves. And that'll make it a 23-11 lead here for SPU. And it'll be Chloe Ashudo to serve for the Wolves. That one hits the net on the way over, and Schuckert can't come up with it, as that one just kind of died. As Ashudo got that net to slow it down. Ashudo out of Camas, Washington, a junior. She comes up with the dig there, and now here's Hartsook sending it over. La Rochelle had it blocked by Booman. Here's Schuckert, and Tolino tried to fake set it and hit it into the net. And so the Wolves have scored the last 3 to get back within 10. Chloe Ashudo will serve again. Lopez the dig, and here's Hare, but Wolves able to send it back. Tolino for Perry, and Ashudo with both hands on that one gets it back over. Here's Perry again, and Ashudo off the ceiling. Hanma spikes it back. And now here is La Rochelle tapping it over. Battle at the net, ends up out of bounds on the SPU side. And Western Oregon knocked it out. It is going to be the Falcons' point, and it'll be a set point here, with the Falcons in front comfortably, 24-13. Christina Lopez serves for the first set. And a nice set there for Booman by Samantha Darby. Darby out of nearby Enumclaw, Washington. As Wolves get back within 10, and they rotate Lauren Johnson and Kaylani Rosa back in. Rosa will serve. Lopez the dig. Tolino sets it up for Wilkes, and she puts it down and gives the Falcons a commanding first set win, 25-14, as the Falcons stepped on the gas pretty early on in the first set and pulled away from the Wolves, as they end up with a double-digit win in the first set, 25-14. Just one set in the books, though, and Kyle Nahalea gets to reset things for his team. We'll take a break on the SPU webcast. We'll be back with you in just a few moments. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. We go to set number 2. Falcons take the first one convincingly, 25-14, as Allison Wilkes gets her hands on 5 blocks in that first set. 3 from Aaron Smith, 2 from Hannah Hare, and that's one thing the Falcons have not struggled with this year is blocking. They have done very well in that department, just needing a little more outside hitting. They got 3 kills from Hannah Hare, from Aaron Smith, and from Sydney Perry in that first set. Western Oregon, 3 kills from Mela Hanma, 2 apiece from Booman and Hornback. And they get 2 aces to start the set from Sydney Friesen, but then it kind of fell apart from there. 6 digs for Madison Hornback. And for the Falcons, as the Wolves start off the second set with a point. Falcons with 7 digs from Christina Lopez, 6 from Zoe Schuckert. Emily Tolino with 11 assists for SPU, as Friesen starts off serving here again in set number 2. Lopez comes up to get that one, and La Rochelle sends it over, and it lands in. Or does it? Yes, it does. And so that will tie up the score at 1 apiece. That one kind of at a weird angle there, but it did crawl over the net. And Allison Wilkes now serving. Wilkes will set it up for Hare up front. And now spiked back over by Hornback. And sent over by La Rochelle. And the Falcons go up 2-1. Western Oregon in that first set, 5 assists from Samantha Darby and 3 from Kaylani Rosa. As Wilkes will send it over. And a spike and a kill there by Madison Hornback. And she got a good swing on that one. 2-2 your score. As both teams making some substitutions. Abigail Cunningham out there for SPU. And Western Oregon now, Samantha Darby serving. And that's going to be an ace as Lopez can't control it. And Darby will put the Wolves up by a count of 3-2. And Darby sends it over. This time Lopez lets it go out of bounds. And the score is tied now at 3 on the service error. So a service ace and then a service error for the Wolves. And we're tied at 3. Here's Aaron Smith sending it over. Hornback got that one around the antenna. The Falcons able to block it, and now it falls to the floor on the Western Oregon side as Taylor Lamb ended up trying to get to that one. It looked like a little miscommunication on who was responsible for it. La Rochelle spikes it back over as that one came back across the net, and La Rochelle was right there ready for it. And the freshman out of Monument, Colorado, doing some good things for SPU up front. Here's Hornback volleying it over. Tolino will set it up for Hare, and Hare lands it in. And it's a 6-3 Falcons lead here in the second set. Aaron Smith will send it over. Here is Hartsook, and she's blocked, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be Western Oregon's point. And that'll make it 6-4 as they'll bring in Liberty Miller out of Custer, Washington to serve. Miller sends it over. Hare sends it back. And now Hanma with the spike and the kill. And she's able to get that one around the antenna. And Western Oregon back within a point at 6-5 as Miller serves to try to tie up the second set. Lopez the dig. Here's Tolino setting it up for Aaron Smith. Good dig there by Darby. And now Hanma sends it over again for back-to-back kills for the Wolves. Mela Hanma, freshman out of Hilo, Hawaii. And the Wolves have scored the last 3 to tie it back up at 6 here in the second set. Miller sends it over. Here's Tolino with the fake set, and it works to perfection. You got to pick your spots as a setter when you're going to do that. If you do it too often, the other team's going to be ready for it. But Tolino picked a good spot there. And the Falcons retake the lead 7-6. Here's La Rochelle serving. And now Hanma again, getting it around that antenna. Here's Perry on the other side. And Perry sends it off the hands of Darby for a kill. And it's 8-6. SPU with the lead here in the second set. La Rochelle will serve it again. Ashudo taps it over, and Tolino kept it alive. Hare sent it back over. And now Ashudo this time gets plenty on that one and sends it inbounds for the kill. And Ashudo will serve now. Junior out of Camas, Washington. As she serves to try to tie the set back up. And that one hit the foot of the line judge there. The official up on the platform having a laugh about it. But it was out because the official standing out of bounds. Here's Lopez to serve, and Hanma blocked. Now Hanma will get another crack at it. Tolino couldn't quite get that one back over. And that'll make it 9-8. As Western Oregon again will try to serve to tie the second set back up. Johnson rotates in, as does Rosa, who's going to serve. Kailani Rosa out of Beaverton, Oregon. That one sent over by Perry, out of bounds. And it is 9-9 as the Wolves now serving for the lead here in set number 2. Rosa will send it over again. Schuckert got to it for the Falcons. And Perry sends it over, and it stays up off the floor. Wolves able to keep it alive. Here's Tolino setting it up for Wilkes. And Wilkes lands it in for the kill. Allison Wilkes puts the Falcons back in front 10-9. As Aaron Smith will check back in for Zoe Schuckert. And serving now is Emily Tolino. Rosa sets it up for Hanma, and she lands it inbounds. Ties it back up at 10. And Mela Hanma will serve. Again, trying to put the Wolves back in front. La Rochelle with the dig. Here's Smith, and she's blocked. La Rochelle got a hand on it. Johnson sends it back over for the Wolves. And now here's Perry. And Perry with the spike and the kill as Rosa just got a hand on it and couldn't control it. And it's 11-10. Falcons with the lead again. Abigail Cunningham in to serve. And Cunningham will send it over. Sent back by Hornback, and Tolino couldn't get to it. It's 11 apiece here in the second set. As Sydney Friesen will rotate back in to serve for WOU. Cunningham comes up with the dig. La Rochelle able to get it around the antenna. And now Ashudo, as Smith and Lopez kind of came together there, and Ashudo gets the kill, and the Wolves with a 12-11 lead. Wolves have hung in there after dropping the first set by 11. This one is going to be an ace for Friesen, as the Falcons unable to get that one set up. And Friesen will serve again, now with the Wolves up by 2. Cunningham with the dig on this one. And here's La Rochelle sending it over, and La Rochelle with the kill for the Falcons. And Hannah Hare will come back in for Christina Lopez. 13-12, Wolves with the lead. Sydney Friesen, 3 aces here in this match so far, as Wilkes sends it over for an ace for SPU. As the Wolves unable to return that one, and it's 13-13. Falcons now serving to try to retake the lead. Wilkes sends it over. There's Hanma with the dig. And Johnson is blocked up front. La Rochelle and Hare there for the block. And Eva La Rochelle playing with some confidence here in this match, as the Falcons lead by a point, 14-13. Jason Ryan's got to like what he sees out of his freshman tonight. Here's Tolino setting it up for Hare. And Hanma there. Hare blocks it. And the Wolves keep it alive. This one is off the hands as Wilkes ends on it. And the Wolves take the point. It's 14-14. Samantha Darby will serve. Cunningham able to make the dig there. And Smith sends it over. Battle at the net, and it's on the Western Oregon side, and SPU takes the point. They go up 15-14. Here's Aaron Smith to serve. Good back and forth second set here after the Falcons dominated the first one. Smith and Lamb with the dig, and now Hornback sends it out of bounds. And the Falcons up by 2, 16-14. Smith will serve again. Here's Hanma with the dig. Now here is Hartsook. She's blocked. It's out of bounds though, and so Hartsook will get credit for the kill. Liberty Miller will check back in to serve for Western Oregon. And again, trying to tie it back up with the Falcons leading by a point. Here's Tolino setting it up for Hare. And the Wolves keep it alive on their side. Volleyed back over by Friesen. Here's La Rochelle. She sends it out of bounds. And it's 16 apiece. Miller will serve it again. And this one's going to go out over the end line, and the Falcons take advantage of the service error as Perry and Schuckert check in for the Falcons, and Taylor Lamb comes in for Sydney Friesen on the other side. Also Hornback in for Western Oregon, and there's Hartsook spiking it over for the kill. And we're tied at 17 here in the second set. Finley Booman checking in up front for Western Oregon. Here's Chloe Ashudo to serve. And that one sent back over, and Hartsook right there to spike it back. And the Wolves take a 1-point lead at 18-17. Back and forth we go here in the second set. Here's Ashuto. Again, serving. Tolino sets it up for Perry, and Sydney Perry spikes it over. And the Falcons tie it back up at 18. Christina Lopez will serve now to try to put the Falcons back in front. There's Lamb with the dig. And here's Hanma. Lopez got a hand on it, and Wilkes got a foot on it. And it's not going to be returned by the Falcons. It's a point for the Wolves, 19-18. They lead it. As Rosa and Johnson check in. Rosa to serve. La Rochelle with the dig. Here's Tolino setting it up for Perry. And that is going to be a kill off the hands of Rosa, as Johnson couldn't get to it. And we're tied at 19. Emily Tolino will serve. Neither team has used a timeout here in the second set. We have played 38 straight points, make it 39 now, with Tolino serving. Johnson able to get it back over. Here's Smith, and she's blocked, and a good block there by Booman up front for the Wolves. And they take the lead at 20-19. Getting late here in the second set. Here's Hanma. Lopez, moving to her right, is able to make the dig. Smith sends it over, and it lands out of bounds. And the Wolves go up by 2, 21-19. And Jason Ryan will use his first timeout of the second set. And we will step aside on the SP webcast as well. Western Oregon, a 2-point lead after dropping the first set. We'll be right back in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle. Greg Sexton with you on the SP webcast. As getting late here in the second set. And Mela Hanma serving with the Wolves up by 2. Sydney Perry will return it. And now here is Lauren Johnson sending it back. Smith taps it over. Rosa will set it up for Johnson. She'll spike it over, and she gets the kill as the Falcons unable to block it. And Lauren Johnson, a big point there to give the Wolves a 3-point lead, 22-19. Here's Mela Hanma to serve, as the Wolves are going to take a 4-point lead, as Tolino unable to get to that one and come up with it cleanly. And Jason Ryan's going to take another timeout. 23-19. Wolves scored, took a 2-point lead going into the last timeout and scored 2 more here. We'll take another timeout on the SBU webcast. We'll be right back.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Mela Hanma to serve it again for Western Oregon. The last one was an ace, and this one is able to be returned by the Falcons. Nearly another ace. We get a whistle here, and they're going to call Wilkes, I believe, on a double touch. And that'll put the Wolves up by 5 here late in the second set. This one was back and forth, and the Wolves making a late run. Hanma now serving for the set. Here's Tolino setting it up for Perry, and Rosa gets it back over. Perry taps it over. Rosa for Booman up front, and the Falcons able to keep it alive. Here's Johnson. There's Tolino. Perry taps it over, and there is Friesen. Johnson is blocked there by Wilkes, and the Falcons keep the second set alive, as Abigail Cunningham will come in and serve now for SPU. They're down 4. They need at least the next 4 to keep this second set going. Sent over by Hornback. And now Smith, and she will send it inbounds, as that one kind of floated over toward the corner and landed inbounds for another point for the Falcons, as they're back within 3. Cunningham will serve again, and Hornback moving over to take that one. There's Lopez back over the net, and Johnson will just set it up. Now Johnson will spike it, and there it goes out of bounds on the SPU side, and the Falcons take another point, and now Nahalea is going to challenge this one, as the Falcons, as it stands now, and the officials were kind of looking around, like waiting for somebody to make a call. The line judge had the flag up saying that the ball went out of bounds, but it was kind of made from the other. The call was made from the other side of the court. So they will take a look at that one on the replay monitor. Kyle Nahalea challenging the call, thinking that may have landed inbounds. And if that is the case, then Western Oregon would end up winning this second set. But if the call stands, then SPU is going to have another serve down by just 2. As Western Oregon got on a run here late in the second set, and they put 5 in a row on the board, breaking a 19-19 tie, making it 24-19. And SPU, as it stands right now, they've scored the last 3, but that third point in some dispute here. Jason Ryan talking things over. He's got a new assistant this year, Emma Shaddix. Lindsey Calvin was here last year when the Falcons won the GNAC title. And really has been a struggle for them this year. Emma Shaddix, though, former player for a couple of different schools, including Colorado Mesa. She was there most recently. but also played in the state of Florida Southern. And then most recently with Colorado Mesa, now an assistant coach here at SPU. And they are going to stick with the call. Nahalea doesn't like it, but they do say that the call stands. And so the Falcons down by 2, 24-22. Here's Abigail Cunningham to serve again, and this one into the net, and that'll do it for the second set. And you never want to send a ball into the net, especially when you're down a set point. But Falcons battled back in that second set, made it interesting. Western Oregon prevails in that second set, though. We'll step aside here on the SPU webcast. We're in intermission. We'll have 5 minutes before the third set comes your way in just a moment. We're tied at a set apiece. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle. Greg Sexton with you as we get ready to start set number 3 as the Wolves able to tie it up with a 25-22 set win in the second set, as they have 8 kills now from Mela Hanma, 12 assists from Samantha Darby, 8 from Keilani Rosa, 2 blocks from Hanma, 9 digs from Madison Hornback, as we're underway here with Hanma serving to begin the third set. Here's La Rochelle sending it back. And now Johnson spikes it over. That one hits the ceiling. Cunningham keeps it alive. La Rochelle volleys it back over. And now Rosa for Booman. And the Falcons again able to keep it alive on their side. Hornback sends it over for the kill, as the Falcons were not able to keep that one alive a third time. Falcons with 7 kills from Sydney Perry, 5 from Aaron Smith through the first 2 sets. 20 assists for Emily Tolino. 6 blocks for Wilkes, 4 for Hare, 4 for Aaron Smith. And 10 digs for Christina Lopez. Should have mentioned as well for Western Oregon, 3 aces for Sydney Friesen. And Western Oregon out to a 2-0 lead here in the third. Put the point on the wrong side. It's SPU's point. And there's going to be an ace for Allison Wilkes. And so Wilkes with the ace to put the Falcons in front by a count of 2-1. And Wilkes will serve it again. And a line drive into the net there. And the service error will tie things back up at 2. And Sydney Friesen, of the 3 aces so far in this match, will serve. She had the first 2 points of the game, first 2 points of the first set, as this will be another ace as Lopez lets it go. Now Friesen with 4 aces in the match. Lopez thought that was going out of bounds, but it did not. 3-2 Western Oregon. Cunningham with the dig on that one. And here's Hannah Hare. And it's sent back over. And didn't hit the antenna, but it went on the wrong side of it. And it is now 3-3. That's Robin Filimaua in the... on that side, on the tower, so to speak, the platform. 4-3 as SPU retakes the lead. Aaron Smith on serve. And that one is going to go out of bounds off of Western Oregon, and SPU takes a 2-point lead. 5-3. Smith will serve again. Here's Rosa setting it up for a Shudo. Nice dig by Lopez. Here's La Rochelle, and it's blocked out of bounds. It's a kill for Eva La Rochelle. And the Falcons take a 3-point lead, 6-3. Aaron Smith will serve it again. Falcons have scored the last 4. Here's Rosa setting it up for Johnson, and she gets it over. Tolino, cross-court set for La Rochelle. She taps it over. Here's Johnson tapping it back. Tolino for Smith. And this one up in the ceiling and stays alive, but comes over again to Robin Filimaua on the platform there, as Western Oregon unable to keep it alive, and the Falcons another point to make it 7-3. As Ashudo tapped that one over. Falcons send it back. La Rochelle was blocked, but the Falcons keep it alive. Here's Smith, and it's off the hands of Rosa, out of bounds, and Aaron Smith with the kill. Falcons have scored 6 in a row. And timeout here early in the third set called by Kyle Nahalea. as the Falcons were down 3-2, now up 8-3. We'll be right back in just a moment on the SB Webcast. Back inside Royal Brougham, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU Webcast. Good match tonight so far. Falcons with a dominant first set win, and the Wolves respond, taking the second set 25-22. Here's Aaron Smith serving. And Hornback sends it back over. And now Johnson will send it over for the kill for Western Oregon. And they'll get back another point after surrendering 6 straight to SPU. Samantha Darby will come on and serve. And that's going to be an ace for Darby as Cunningham goes diving for it and can't come up with it. So Darby, sophomore out of Enumclaw, Washington, with her second ace of the match. That one, Cunningham thought about it. She lets it go, and it lands out of bounds. And so a service ace and then a service error for Samantha Darby, and it's 9-5. SPU Eva La Rochelle to serve. Here's Darby setting it up for Hornback, and that's going to be into the scorer's table. And it's a point for the Wolves, as Sydney Friesen will check back in. Madison Hornback will serve. Tolino will set it up for Sydney Perry, and she spikes it over for the kill. Hornback unable to return it. And the Falcons with a 4-point lead, 10-6. Christina Lopez will serve. Lopez will put it out of bounds. And the Wolves take it back on the service error. Chloe Shudo will serve. With the count at 10-7, SPU in front by 3. Schuckert there for the dig. Here is Sydney Perry singing it back. And a good dive there by Ashudo to get it back over. Tolino, let's see here. They're going to give the point to the Wolves, as Falcons called for a violation there. And Ashudo will serve it again, 10-8 now. This one crawls over the net. Lopez there for the dig. Here's Wilkes with the spike and the kill for SPU. And the Falcons up by 3 at 11-8. Aaron Smith back in up front for SPU. Both teams making substitutions. Emily Tolino will serve. And Tolino gets that one to crawl over. Western Oregon able to return it. And it's Hartsook sending it over for the kill for Western Oregon. Johnson rotates back in along with Rosa, and it'll be Kaylani Rosa to serve. Perry. Tolino was able to get to it. Perry sent it over and didn't get it over. As that one came up short. And Western Oregon with another point. Now trying to tie up this third set. 11-10 your score. Rosa serves it again. Lopez there for the dig. Tolino will set it up for Smith. And it's another point for the Wolves as they're able to send it back over. And we're tied at 11 here in the third set. SPU ripped off a few points in a row to get to an 8-3 lead. But the Wolves have run them down. It's 11-11. Smith taps it over. Rosa with the set for Booman, and it's blocked. Or did she even get it over? It's SPU's point either way. Abigail Cunningham will come in and serve. And the Falcons with a 1-point lead. There's La Rochelle, and she sends it back over. Cunningham with the dig. Lopez volleys it over. Rosa sets it up for Johnson. Good dive there by Tolino, by Lopez. And La Rochelle can't quite get it back over. And that'll make it a 12-12 score as Western Oregon takes the point and Mela Hanma will serve. Cunningham able to come up with it, and La Rochelle sends it over and puts the Falcons back in front 13-12. Lamb will come back on for Friesen as the libero for the Wolves. And here's Allison Wilkes with the Falcons leading by a point. Rosa sets it up for Hornback, and that one crawls around on the top of the net and stays on the Western Oregon side. It's SPU's point. It's 14-12. Kind of a weird looking play there. Wilkes this time gets it to crawl over the top of the net and land in for an ace. Wilkes puts the Falcons in front by 3. 15-12. Another ace for Allison Wilkes. Sends this one over. And Johnson going to get it back over for the Wolves. And now Johnson again. And this time it'll be a kill for Lauren Johnson, the freshman out of Salem, Oregon. And the Falcons lead cut to 2. Kyle Nahalea in this match getting contributions from a few freshmen. Smith had it blocked. And Western Oregon back within a point. Hanma, Friesen, who is now serving. And I guess just 3. Lauren Johnson, the other player that has put up some points, some kills for the Wolves. This one spiked out of bounds by the Falcons, and we're tied back up at 15. For the Falcons, La Rochelle, a freshman. And they have a few freshmen on the bench. That one is going to crawl over the net by Friesen. She has another ace. She's got 5 in the set, or in the match, rather. And Jason Ryan is going to take a timeout. His squad now down by a point after they were leading by 3. Last 4 have gone Western Oregon's way. We'll be right back in just a moment on the SP Webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brougham, Western Oregon now with a 1-point lead, and Sydney Friesen serving again. And Hare is blocked. Or is she? No, the Hare got it over. And Western Oregon with the unsuccessful block attempt there. And so Hannah Hare with the kill. Falcons tied up at 16. Rosa sets it up for Ashudo, and there is Tolino teaming up with Hare on the block, and the Falcons retake the lead 17-16. From my vantage point, sometimes it's hard to tell which side of the net the ball lands on. There's La Rochelle rising up with the right hand to send it back, and the Falcons take a 2-point lead, 18-16. Falcons have scored the last 3 out of the timeout. They were down 1, now back up by 2. Here's Smith. And Hornback with the dig. Here is Lauren Johnson. Rosa will set it up for Hornback. It's blocked by Hare. Falcons keep it alive. La Rochelle taps it over. And now Hanmo will send it back. Tolino for Hare, and she's blocked this time. Ashudo got there along with Hornback. And the Wolves with a big block there to get back within a point, 18-17, as Hartsook and Darby will rotate back in, and Darby will serve. As the Wolves try to tie up the third set. Here's Tolino setting it up for Aaron Smith, and that's going to be a kill as the Wolves block it out. So Aaron Smith, another kill. She'll rotate out, as will Abigail Cunningham, Sydney Perry, and Zoe Schuckert back in. And Eva La Rochelle will serve. And that one crawls over the net and lands in for an ace. And the Falcons take a 3-point lead as now Kaio Nahalea takes a timeout as his squad now trails by 3 late in the third set, 20-17. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast in just a moment. Good back and forth match here from Royal Brougham Pavilion tonight. It was all Falcons in the first set, but Western Oregon ends up taking the second set, and now SPU up by 3 here in the third. As La Rochelle remains on serve. There's Schuckert with a good dig to keep it alive. Here's La Rochelle sending it over again. And now Hornback blocked by Hare and Perry. And the Falcons take a 4-point lead. La Rochelle will serve again. 21-17. Eva La Rochelle kind of pressed into service as this one comes up short. Sarah Brockvogel injured, which really is giving La Rochelle a lot more playing time. And she has looked good tonight for SPU, despite the service error there. 21-18. Here's Liberty Miller serving for Western Oregon. Here's Sydney Perry tapping it over and drops it in for the kill. And the Falcons go back up by 4. Wilkes comes back in for Hare. Miller checks out, and Taylor Lamb in for Western Oregon. Taylor Lamb, a senior out of Oakdale, California. Here's Darby setting it up for a shooto, and Schuckert will keep it alive, and La Rochelle will send it back over. Here's Hanma. It's blocked out of bounds. It'll be a point for the Wolves. Hanma with the kill as Booman rotates back in up front. Finley Booman out of Phoenix, Arizona. Here's a shooto. And Perry sends it over. Wolves able to keep it alive. Darby returns it. Here's Wilkes. And again, the Wolves able to return it. Wilkes again. Blocked that time. Here's Perry. And Hanma will keep it alive. Here's Hartsook. Falcons let it go. And it lands in bounds. And Hartsook with the kill. No. I'm sorry, that one went out of bounds. I was, now Madison Hornback going to come over and say something to the official, but it'll be SPU's point. They were up 3. Now they're up 4, 23-19. And Tolino will serve. Darby for Hanma. And now Aaron Smith spikes it over and lands it in bounds. And the Falcons lead it by 5. 24-19 here. Closing in on the third set. As they'll have a set point with Tolino serving. Fans, a few of them anyway, to their feet here. Not a big crowd here at Royal Brougham on a Thursday night. And they're going to give the point to the Falcons there. I think that they called a double touch on Western Oregon. Regardless, they blow the point dead and give it to the Falcons. It's 25-19. They take the third set. SPU goes up 2-1, trying to close it out and pick up their first home win here at Royal Brougham in 2024. We'll be back in just a moment on the SPU webcast. Falcons up 2-1. Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you after 3 sets in the books. Falcons have won 2 of them as they just took the third one 25-19. And to this point in the match, they're out hitting Western Oregon 221 to 065. 12 total blocks for SPU to 5 for Western Oregon. Individually, Mela Hanma with 9 kills. 15 assists for Samantha Darby, 5 aces for Sydney Friesen for the Wolves, 3 blocks by Chloe Ashudo, and 12 digs by Madison Hornback, the statistical category leaders there for the Falcons. Aaron Smith with 9 kills, Sydney Perry 9 kills, Eva La Rochelle 8 kills as Johnson sends it over. And we're underway here in set number 4. And this is going to be actually kept alive by the Wolves. Here's Tolino setting it up for Wilkes. And Wilkes lands it in bounds for the kill to start the 4th set. And Abigail Cunningham will serve. 3 aces for Wilkes, 2 for La Rochelle. As Hornback sends it back, and that will tie up the set at 1 apiece. 6 blocks for Hannah Hare, 6 for Wilkes as well. 14 digs for Christina Lopez for SPU as we get going here in set number 4. It's 1-1. Tolino cross court for La Rochelle. She's blocked. It lands out of bounds, and it'll be a kill for Eva La Rochelle as the Falcons go up again 2-1. As they blocked La Rochelle, but just out of bounds. Wilkes sends it over. Now Hornback, and that one's going to go long. And the Falcons will serve it again with a 2-point lead, 3-1. Allison Wilkes will put it in play again. This one into the Western Oregon bench, and it'll be another ace for Wilkes. She's got 4 now in the match. Friesen with 5 on the other side for Western Oregon, but Wilkes with 4 of her own for SPU. And the Falcons are up 4-1 here early in the 4th set as they try to win this one in 4. Johnson blocked out of bounds. No, they're going to say, let's see here. They're going to give the point to the Falcons as Lauren Johnson sent it back, and it looked like it was blocked out of bounds initially, but not ruled that way. It is 5-1. And here's Ashudo with the spike and a kill for the Wolves. Both teams making substitutions. Lopez coming in for the Falcons. Darby rotating in along with Friesen, I believe, just came back in as well. Here's Smith, and she sends it over for the kill. Makes it 6-2. Taylor Lamb rotates back in for Western Oregon. And here's Aaron Smith. That one goes long. And it's 6-3. Wolves will take it back, and it'll be Liberty Miller, junior out of Custer, Washington. Puts it in play. Here's Tolino with the set for Hare, and Hannah Hare spikes it over for the kill. And she got a good swing on that one. 7-3 Falcons here in the 4th set. Sydney Perry checking back in along with Zoe Schuckert for SPU. And here is La Rochelle. Now Hanma spiking it over, and Lopez there for the dig. Perry had it blocked. Lopez coming up to get that one. Perry sends it back. And now Hanma gets it around the antenna. Tolino cross-court set for Perry. This one is going to be another kill for Sydney Perry as the Wolves unable to return it. And the Falcons lead it by 5. Western Oregon with a 3-4 record in the GNAC, but 11-5 overall. And they have really played a lot of good volleyball this year. SPU, not as much, but SPU trying to take this one in 4 sets. Still got a long way to go here in the 4th set, though, and Western Oregon back within 4 at 8-4. And here's Chloe Asciuto sending it over. Lopez. How about that play as Perry gets it over, and it was just kept alive by the Falcons. They get the point. It's 9-4. And Kyle Nahalea taking a timeout. What a play there to keep that one alive for SPU. We'll be right back in just a moment on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, 9-4. SPU with the lead here in the 4th set, as they lead it 2-1 in the match. SPU trying to just pick up their 3rd win on the season, and both of these teams would end up at 3-5 if SPU wins this one. SPU did not have a non-conference win. Western Oregon went 7-1 in their non-conference slate. As Hanma sends it over, and the Falcons get it back, and now again, Tolino sends it back. Here's Hartsook, and Lopez keeps it alive for SPU. Perry volleys it back over. And now Hartsook gets another crack at it. Schuckert with a good dig. Here's Perry again, sending it back. Now Hanma. And that one's going to go out of bounds, and it's another point for SPU, and that'll make it 10-4. Christina Lopez will serve for the Falcons. Lopez puts it over. Gets a piece of the net on the way over. Hartsook sends it back. Here's La Rochelle spiking it over. And now Hanma, and Hanma lands it in bounds for the spike and the kill. And it is 10-5. As Rosa and Lauren Johnson back in for the Wolves. Rosa to serve. 10-5. Falcons by 5 here in the 4th set. That one hits the top of the net and does not get over, as that one just kind of sat up there on top of the net for a second and went back the way it came. Falcons with the lead 11-5. And here's Emily Tolino to serve. Rosa will set it up there for the kill. And that'll make it 11-6. As Hanma will serve. And Hanma sends it over the end line, out of bounds. Falcons will take it back. Abigail Cunningham back in. With the score now 12-6. Falcons leading by 6, and Cunningham sends it over. And this is going to end up being an ace, I believe, as both of the line judges waving their flags there, saying that that one did not get back around the antenna. And so it is 13-6. Here's Lauren Johnson with the spike, and Cunningham unable to come up with that one. 13-7. And it'll be Sydney Friesen to serve for the Wolves. Friesen started off the match with back-to-back aces. That time, she lands it out of bounds. The way she reacted there, I thought that she came up with another ace, but just landed it out of bounds. And the Falcons with the point on the service error. And it's a 7-point lead for SPU. Here's Wilkes. Rosa sets it up for Hornback, and Hornback gets it over. Hits the antenna as SPU tries to return it. And it's Western Oregon's point. Samantha Darby will serve. 14-8 as the Wolves try to stay alive. Nice effort there by Tolino, and couldn't quite get it back over. And so the Wolves take another point. 14-9 now. They trail by 5. Darby sends it over. La Rochelle there for the dig. Smith sends it back. And now Hornback gets to it. La Rochelle sends it out of bounds. And Western Oregon, another point. They've scored the last 3. It's 14-10. Wolves not going away yet. Darby sends it over. Tolino sets it up for La Rochelle. And now Hornback sends it back. Good dig there by Lopez. Smith sends it back over. Darby will set it up for Hartsook, who spikes it out of bounds. And the Falcons back out to a 5-point lead, 15-10. And Aaron Smith serving. Hornback to dig. Here's Hartsook. Blocked. Or did she even get it over? Falcons take the point. And Smith will serve it again. SPU back up by 6 here in the 4th set. And the Wolves able to get that one over. Hannah Hare sends it back. Hornback. Falcons keep it alive. La Rochelle sends it back. And Hartsook sending it over, and we get this one blown dead. Point awarded to Western Oregon. And that'll make it 16-11. Madison Hornback will serve here. And Cunningham with the dig. And they blow this one dead, and they give it to the Wolves. The Falcons got called for a double touch there. 16-12 now. Wolves back within 4. Not done yet. And this one is going to get them to within 3. And I believe Hornback will get an ace on that one. Jason Ryan will take a timeout here with the Wolves back within 3. 16-13 in the 4th set. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back on the SPU webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brougham, Madison Hornback with her first ace there, and now serving again as the Wolves have scored the last three. It's 16-13. Here is Aaron Smith sending it back over. And now Hanma, and Hare tried to block it and couldn't come up with it cleanly. And it'll be another point for Western Oregon. They're within two. 16-14. Hornback to serve again. Cunningham the dig. Here's Tolino setting it up for La Rochelle. And I don't think she got that one back over. And she was trying to work around that antenna. And the Wolves now have scored the last five, trying to tie up the set now. Here's Tolino again, setting it up for La Rochelle. She's blocked. Lopez couldn't come up with it cleanly, right into La Rochelle's face, couldn't do anything with it. And we are tied at 16. The Wolves have scored the last six. Jason Ryan taking a timeout a few moments ago, trying to change the momentum, but that didn't happen this time. 16-16, Hartsook sends it over. And here's Aaron Smith sending it back. Ashuto drops it in for the kill. And the Wolves take the lead 17-16 as they try to force a fifth set in this match. Falcons looked like they were on their way to a four-set win, up by 6 at 16-10, but the Wolves have scored the last 7 in a row and now make it 8 as Aaron Smith comes up short on the attack there. Jason Ryan takes another timeout. It is 18-16. The Wolves now by 2 here late in the fourth set. We'll be right back on the SBU webcast in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, Falcons find themselves on the short end now of an 18-16 score as they try to rally. Eva La Rochelle sends it over and gets the kill and breaks the 8-point string there by the Wolves. And now we are going to get, let's see here, are they going to replay the point? And if so, they are going to. I'm not sure what the reason for that was. So Falcons do not end the Western Oregon string of points. Let's see if they can get it to end here. Tolino with the fake set there, but Wolves were ready for it. La Rochelle sends it back over. Now here's Hanma, and the Falcons return it, and it goes wide of the antenna. And it is 19-16 Wolves, as they have now scored 9 in a row. I'm not sure why they blew that last one dead, but they replayed the point. And the Wolves end up coming out with it. Hare is blocked. And a big block there by the Wolves, and they go up by 4, 20-16. Jason Ryan trying to push some different buttons here. He's going to bring in Sophia Chambers, and he's going to bring in Coco Barnett, neither of whom have seen any action yet tonight. And he brings both of them on here in set number 4, with Western Oregon scoring the last 10 in a row. Cunningham, the dig, Ashudo right there, but Falcons able to keep it alive, as Ashudo really didn't get a ton of momentum on that one. This time Hornback does, but Cunningham able to volley it back over. Here's Ashudo, and now Chambers is there. Here's La Rochelle, and this one's going to end up being a kill for Eva La Rochelle. And it is a 3-point deficit now for SPU. Sydney Perry checking in. La Rochelle will serve. Hanma sends it over, gets it through a couple of SPU blockers, and it's a 4-point lead again for the Wolves, 21-17. Chloe Ashudo will serve. Perry keeps it alive. Here's La Rochelle sending it back over. And now Hartsook. And she lands it in bounds. And the Wolves get the point. It's 22-17. Falcons were up 16-10 in this set. And the Wolves have scored 12 of the last 13. Now Ashudo with the service error into the net. And the Falcons back within 4, but they need to go on a quick run of their own here. Christina Lopez will serve for SPU. Otherwise, this one is going to a deciding 5th set. Here's Hartsook sending it over at the net, and it's going to be Western Oregon's point, I believe. They didn't put it up on the board yet. No, now they do. And now the official going to go over and just double check. I don't. No, Jason Wright did put the challenge card on the scorers table, so they'll review that one. As it stands, it's Western Oregon's point, 23-18. Jason Ryan maybe just trying to get a de facto timeout. He's out of timeouts here in this 4th set, but looking just to kind of stem the tide a little bit here, as we'll see if the call stands. It would be big if this one is reversed, but not likely. Did look like it was definitely a point for the Wolves to give them a 5-point lead, but this one, really, the Falcons had it pretty much in control at 16-10 in the 4th set, and the Wolves have jumped up and seized control here in set number 4. Wolves, as it stands now, they have scored 13 of the last 15 points here in this set, and they do stick with the original call. And so the Wolves with a 5-point lead late in the fourth set. Rosa and Johnson will come on for Western Oregon, and it'll be Kaylani Rosa to serve. Redshirt sophomore out of Beaverton, Oregon. And the Falcons going to need to string a few points together here. Here's Chambers setting it up for Barnett. And now Johnson sends it back. And did she keep it in bounds? No, she didn't. She landed it out of bounds there. And so the Falcons will get back within 4 as Aaron Smith and Emily Tolino check back in. And Tolino will serve. Hanma blocked by Smith, out of bounds though, and it'll be Western Oregon's point, and they will have a set point here. And Mela Hanma with the kill there, and now will serve for the fourth set. Trying to push this one to set number 5. Lopez the dig. Here's Tolino setting it up for Aaron Smith. She taps it over. And Lauren Johnson going to send it back and send this match to set number 5. SPU let that one get away. They had a 16-10 lead in the fourth set, and they could not close the deal. Western Oregon comes back and scores 15 of the final 18 points in the fourth set. And we are going to set number 5. 25-19 your score. Western Oregon taking the fourth set. And the captains will meet for a coin toss here to start set number 5. Hornback and Hartsook for the Wolves. Wilkes and Tolino for the Falcons. And they'll put 3 minutes on the board. We will step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you as we go to a fifth set. And Western Oregon really stepped on the gas there, erased a 16-10 deficit, and won that fourth set by a count of 25-19. Mela Hanma now a double-double with 15 kills and 10 digs. And Madison Hornback 1 kill away from a double-double. She's got 9 kills and 17 digs. At 17 leads the way in that department. For the Wolves, Chloe Ashuto also 10 digs. And Lauren Johnson 7 kills. 23 assists for Samantha Darby. 19 for Kaylani Rosa. 5 aces for Friesen. 4 blocks, make it 5 blocks for Ashuto. And for SPU, as we are underway here in the 5th set. And blocked by Wilkes and Smith. Big block to start the 5th set for SPU. 10 kills apiece from Perry, Smith, and La Rochelle, and 8 for Hannah Hare. 4 aces for Allison Wilkes. 37 assists for Emily Tolino through 4 sets as Wilkes serves it. And it's tapped over by Madison Hornback. And she taps it to an open area. It ties the score at 1 apiece. And Sydney Friesen will serve. 7 blocks for Wilkes, 6 for Hare, 5 for Aaron Smith. This one crawls over, and Cunningham gets to it. Smith sends it back and sends it out of bounds. And that'll be a point for the Wolves. They take the lead 2-1. 21 digs for Christina Lopez. And nobody else with more than 10. Zoe Shuckert has 10. And Eva La Rochelle with 10. And she's got a double-double, 10 kills, 10 digs. This one sent over by Hannah Hare. And it's a 2-2 score now here in the 5th set. Of course, as you know, if you've watched much volleyball, they only go to 15 in the 5th set. Hornback will send it over. And Hare sends it over for another kill. Back to that kills for Hannah Hare. And the Falcons go in front 3-2. So in the 5th set, every point just that much more important as they just don't go as long here in the 5th set. Hornback volleys it over. Tolino sets it up for Hare. This time she's blocked. Tolino sets it up now for La Rochelle, and she sends it over. There's Hanma. Lauren Johnson sends it back. Tolino sets it up for Aaron Smith. Good dig there by Rosa. Here's Tolino setting it up for Hare. And Hannah Hare, another kill. Give her 3 in a row. And the Falcons take the lead 4-2. And Hannah Hare coming up big here in the 5th set for the Falcons. Smith to serve again. Here's Rosa setting it up for Hornback, and she will put it over for the kill. That'll make it 4-3 as Darby and Hartsook check back in for the Wolves, and it'll be Samantha Darby to serve. Darby sends it over. Cunningham there for the dig. Lopez tried to keep it alive on her side, but it ended up coming back over. And Western Oregon able to take advantage and take the point so that it's tied back up at 4. And another similar play. Chloe Ashuto spikes this one back over. And the Wolves now take a 1-point lead at 5-4. Samantha Darby serving again. Cunningham the dig. And Hare sending it back. Now Ashuto blocked by Hannah Hare. And Hannah Hare coming up big for the Falcons here in the 5th set. Big block there, and it's tied at 5. La Rochelle will serve. This one going to be a little bit difficult for the Wolves to return it, but they do. Sydney Perry blocked by Bailey Hartsook. And the Wolves retake the lead 6-5. As they switch out liberos, Friesen back in for Lamb. And here is Hornback to serve for the Wolves. They lead by a point here in the 5th set. And a little collision there between La Rochelle and Schuckert, but it works out. And the Falcons end up with the point, 6-6. Wilkes back in up front. Lopez to serve. Lopez trying to put the Falcons back in front here in set number 5. Of course, when one team gets to 8 points, they pick up and switch directions. That time, the Wolves trying to keep it alive, and they can't do it. Falcons retake the lead 7-6. And they've scored the last 2 now. Here's Lopez sending it over. Hornback the dig. And here's Oshudo sending it back. There's La Rochelle. Perry. And Lamb comes up with it. Here's Hornback again. Here's Tolino setting it up for Wilkes. And Allison Wilkes puts it back over the net. And the Falcons go up 8-6. And the teams switch sides here midway through set number 5. This is one of the interesting things about volleyball is that not only do the players on the court switch sides, but everybody, the benches included, they will pick up and switch right in the middle of the 5th set. And now we're ready to go here with the Falcons up by 2. And Christina Lopez serving from the opposite end of the court now. Nice dig there by Schuckert to keep it alive for the Falcons. Perry volleys it back over. Here's Darby with the cross-court set for Hanma. It's blocked by Wilkes, and it lands inbounds. That one almost came out over the end line, but it lands in. And it's a 9-6 lead for SPU. Jason Ryan with high fives for his team. They lead by 3 as a timeout is called by Kaio Nahalea. Still a ways to go here in this 5th set. But the Falcons with the momentum at the moment, 9-6. We'll be right back. Nine to 6 SPU as we return to action here in set number 5. Christina Lopez serving. Hartsook will send it into the net, and the Falcons go up by 4. 10-6. Bailey Hartsook came up short on that one, trying to get it back over. And the Falcons now a 4-point lead at 10-6. Lopez to serve again. Hanma sends it over, and it's SPU's point as she sent it out of bounds. The Falcons did not deflect it. Hanma thought initially that they did, but was not called that way. And Kaio Nahalea going to take another timeout now with the Falcons up by 5 here in the 5th set, 11-6. Been some big swings of momentum in this match. We will step aside again here on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment. We're not running the clock on this timeout, but we will step aside anyway. We'll be back in just a moment. That last call there was actually challenged. There was not a timeout called, as Lopez will send it over again. And now this time the Falcons block it out of bounds. It'll be Western Oregon's point. That'll make it 11-7. As Kyle Nahalea, I thought, called a timeout, but he challenged the call. I missed seeing the green card go up there. But figured it out after we cut to a commercial. Here is Sydney Perry sending it back for SPU. Falcons did get the call upheld. Darby will volley it back. And now here's Sydney Perry. She's blocked out of bounds. It'll be a kill for Sydney Perry. And the Falcons go up by 5, 12-7 here in the fifth set. This has been a hard-fought match. Both teams with some big swings of momentum. And the Falcons trying to finish this one off and win on their home floor for the first time this season. Only have played twice, and they lost to both of the Alaska schools. This one out of bounds. And the Falcons go up by 6, 13-7. Now Nahalea takes another timeout, so we'll get another ad break in here. But it is 13-7, SPU with the lead late in the fifth set. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
13-7, Falcons with the lead here in the fifth set, and Emily Tolino on serve. Darby sets it up for Hartsook, and the Falcons come up with a block. Wilkes battling at the net there, able to keep it alive. Darby with the set for Booman. And now Hartsook will send it over. Here's Perry sending it back, and she lands it in for the kill. It is 14-7. Sydney Perry with a big kill there. And the Falcons now with a match point as they try to outlast the Wolves in 5. 14-7 your score. Emily Tolino trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Here's Darby setting it up for Hanma, and the Falcons with the block. Wilkes was there, and I believe Smith was there as well. The Falcons finish it off in 5 sets. They get the 5th set 15-7 as they pull away here in set number 5, and they get win number 1 on their home floor here at Royal Brougham Pavilion. It's been a tough year so far here for the Falcons in 2024 after winning the GNAC title last year. Now just going to 3-13 overall on the season, going to 3-5 in GNAC play, but a big win nonetheless. And the Falcons really, if they can stack a lot of wins, they will at least get that record back to a respectable number. As I mentioned, they have to win out just to get back to 500 on the season. But a good match here tonight against Western Oregon. Both teams really with some big momentum swings. The Falcons were able to win the 1st set and the 3rd and the 5th. Western Oregon, of course, taking sets number 2 and 4. Final here, 25-14, 22-25, 25-19, 19-25, 15-7. SPU takes it in 5 sets. As really some good efforts on both sides of the net tonight. Let's take a look at the team stats as SPU ends up out hitting Western Oregon 194-085 in this one. 11 service aces for the Wolves, 8 for the Falcons. And the Falcons really with a big advantage in blocks as they end up with 16 total blocks to 8 for Western Oregon. Individually, Mela Hanma with a double-double with 16 kills and 11 digs. Bailey Hartsook had 10 kills. Madison Hornback, a double-double with 11 kills and 17 digs. As Samantha Darby goes for 24 assists, and Kaylani Rosa with 21. And they got 5 aces from Sydney Friesen, who started the match with the first 2 points on aces. Samantha Darby had 3 aces as well. 17 digs for Hornback leading the way in that department for them. They got 12 from Chloe Ashuta, 11 from Mela Hanma. And, of course, using the rotating libero, Sydney Friesen and Taylor Lamb, neither one of them ends up with a ton of digs rather. They each end up with 6. As normally with just one libero, you will typically see the libero end up with a lot of the a lot of the digs. But they kind of split duties as the libero. They end up with 6 digs apiece. For the Falcons, Sydney Perry ends up leading the way in kills with 13. Hannah Hare 12, and she was big in the 5th set. Had a lot of both kills and blocks, particularly in that 5th set, to really push the Falcons over the top. She ends up with 7 blocks to go with 12 kills. And again, your GNAC Defensive Player of the Week for last week's efforts. And another solid effort here tonight for Hannah Hare. Eva La Rochelle, 10 kills, 11 digs, a double-double for the freshman. And Allison Wilkes ends up with 6 kills and 9 total blocks in this one. 4 service aces for Wilkes and 4 digs as well. Solid effort for her. Christina Lopez, 23 digs. And Zoe Schuckert had 11. As Emily Tolino with 45 assists and 10 digs. That's a double-double for the senior out of Carlsbad, California. The setter for the Falcons. As I mentioned, just a lot of momentum going each direction at different times throughout this match. Falcons looked like they were in control with an early, the first set, they won 25-14 and kind of were in front for a lot of the second set, but Western Oregon able to turn that second set in their favor and win it. Just a good battle here tonight, going back and forth. Eva La Rochelle getting interviewed down on the court. We'll wrap it up here from Royal Brome Pavilion in Seattle. The Falcons outlast the Western Oregon Wolves. And going into Saturday, coming up, the Falcons are going to have Simon Fraser here. Make it St. Martin's, not Simon Fraser. St. Martin's will be in the building, 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. And no, the Falcons just lost to Simon Fraser this last Saturday. Simon Fraser actually out to a 6-1 start in the GNAC, second place. But St. Martin's is 2-5 coming into tonight. We'll see how they fared, but they'll be here on Saturday afternoon for a 2 p.m. First serve. Western Oregon, they go to 3-5 in the GNAC, but still 11-6 overall due to a good non-conference schedule to open things up. They're going to go to Billings, Montana on Saturday. They will take on Montana State University Billings, who has yet to record a win in GNAC play. So Western Oregon trying to split these two matches on the road this week. And they have an opponent that you would think that they would be able to beat, but you never know. That's why they play the games. So either way, though, the Falcons with a quality win here tonight over Western Oregon in 5 sets. That'll do it. We will see you on Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. St. Martin's. The Saints will be here from Lacey, Washington, and we will have it for you. 2 p.m. first serve. Falcons win this one in 5 sets. Good night, and we'll talk to you on Saturday afternoon.